This game fills a void I didn't even know was there. Deep enough. There's something really special here.
I first came across Arc Raiders through several posts about how amazing the tech tests had been all the way since 2024, all filled with speculation about a potential shadow drop in 2025 for this long-awaited extraction shooter that was announced back in 2021. As someone completely uninvested at the time, but mostly just a creature victim of its own curiosity, I figured this was the perfect opportunity to dust off the old detective cap and dig in. The internet loves nothing more than a good reason to speculate, or flat out predict the future. It's basically pareidolia for the chronically online. But honestly, looking at some of the clues, even from the outside, it wasn't that far-fetched to imagine Arc Raiders might just be dropping unannounced. So let's look at the evidence, shall we? Embark Studios had a history here. They'd already pulled a shadow drop when they released the finals back at the 2023 Game Awards. Players had found a hidden countdown in the game files pointing exactly to June 6th, 2025, the date of the Summer Game Fest. And finally, even though I hadn't technically played a single minute of this game, I still needed something to get invested in. Cause let's be honest, my upload schedule is definitely not one of them. And on that note, you're in for a ride, so don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you!
Absolutely everyone and their mothers was talking about it, seeing signs where they existed and signs they desperately wanted to exist. Then the day came, Summer Game Fest 2025. Everyone waited, flooding the subreddit with hype-fueled posts until halfway through the conference, this happened.
You suck!
As you can imagine, the community was thrilled to discover that the big reveal was a countdown to a whole nother countdown. Embark Studios had come out immediately with a statement to basically pick up the pieces of their fanbase's broken hearts. And somehow, through everyone else's disappointment, I got excited. It gave me a first glimpse of just how special Arc Raiders could be if people were losing their minds like this over nothing actually happening yet. A shadow drop that never came, and a 4-month waiting period in its place. At that point, I decided to stop searching for updates altogether. I'd let the memory sit in the back of my brain and basically let the internet do its thing. It always finds a way to remind you when something's about to happen, so I trusted the process. However, marketing seemed to come free for this game, and back in August, users noticed that EA was censoring anyone that wrote Arc Raiders in chat, and for whatever reason, the new Call of Duty did the same thing, which prompted their marketing team to come out with this. And sure enough, on September 22nd, Embark made their move. They announced that on the weekend of the 17th, everybody should kiss their wives, hug their children, because the Rust Belt is calling and people are gonna finally be able to play the game again before the release. I called Varan, a childhood friend who should honestly know better than to pick up when I call, and told him we'd be heading topside soon.
What's up, man?
There's the server slump for this game I haven't told you anything about whatsoever, but that's beside the point, and you better be doing nothing because we're playing the whole goddamn weekend because I've unfortunately developed an unhealthy obsession with it due to my OCD, but that doesn't matter because we have the power of friendship, love, and gaming, buddy.
I don't know, man. I already had plans for the... Oh, hell yeah. Got a frying pan. What's the plan? Breakfast or homicide? Why you gotta limit my potential like that? Depends on who shows up hungry, I guess. Man, you ever think about what you say? Yeah, I'm the Buddha of the Rust Belt. I come to the topside to self-reflect, actually. Anything there? Not really, but check the suitcase. Fabric and plastic. Perfect, we need those. Shots, very close. Yep. Careful with the lights. One on the left, and one on the right. About 90 meters. I got a shot. On target. Missed the second shot.
Missed on the right as well. Keep an eye on that one. I'll see if his friend comes down.
Roger, roger.
It's better if we get out of here.
Yeah. Okay, that's new. Cover the left side.
Yeah, I'll go there. So we don't get stuck. Check the front, I check the side.
Got a raider in front of me.
Damn, where's that?
Shields out.
Can't see anything with this rain. There's the orcs, closing in on you.
Yeah, let's take care of them.
You got it?
I'll finish the last one. Careful behind you. A lot of shots there.
Yeah, holding fire.
Somebody's having a lot of fun without us, man.
We can't have that.
We're right on top of them. Stay sharp.
Yeah, I hear them. Pulling the rattler.
Alright, I'm gonna take the shot if I have it. Hit him, and got a flare out. Seems like they're fighting someone. Going around.
I'm on your 6. They gotta be down there.
Yeah, I can hear the rats below us. Careful, there's one right under your nose. Shot landed. Switching to secondary. Flare out.
Oh! There's another one behind us. Lower level, I guess.
Yeah, keep an eye on that one.
Are you finishing the down guy?
Trying to. There's another one. Whoa. What? Can you hear me? Andrén, fucking talk to me. What the hell just happened, man? Oh shit. That was close. Die already. That's not the sound I wanna hear. Where do I go? Let's go up. Okay, that's up. Shit. Goddamn ticks, man. Jesus. Come on. Please tell me you still work. Yeah, just pull me the hell out of here. I'm so sorry, but I'm
It's been a few days since the end of the server slam, and I still can't really put into words what I'm feeling. But after some careful thought and consideration, I can confidently make a public statement now.
This game fills a void I didn't even know was there. Maybe it creates one. A void just deep enough to make me question how anything else was ever fun to begin with. Whatever dark magic this team wove into it, one thing is certain. There's something really, really special here.
So, who are you in this game, you ask? As the name suggests, you're a raider. Unknown, unnamed, your mission is repetition. You head up to an arc-infested surface, gather resources you or your android crush might need.
Look at that thing, sitting indoors, wearing sunglasses. God, I love it.
And make it back down to Speranza alive. Every expedition can teach you something, as long as you're willing to learn. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a dumbass, so it takes me a while.
Should I try a shot? On target? Jesus, that thing is fast, huh? Oh, sweet mother of God.
From the outside, Arc Raiders might look like a simple extraction shooter, but up there, on the top side, it feels more like a choice-driven survivor-looter shooter. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but you'll have to deal with it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It sounds like I'm just over-justifying my own self-imposed hype for this game I barely kept any track of. But honestly, I don't think it's fair to lump Arc Raiders into the same category as something like Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown. Every extraction shooter shares one key trait. Once you're experienced enough, you already understand the optimal path to success before you even load in. But that's not a reflection of creative intention, it's a product of the design formula itself. This is because mastering an extraction shooter, and I'm air quoting mastering here for those of you with unemployment papers and thousands of hours in this genre, is really an exercise in pattern recognition. This is because PvPvE experiences tend to have a very tiny E. In contrast, they have a very large PP.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And now this analysis gets real. Humans, by nature, follow the path of least resistance. Once you understand how the game world behaves and how players behave within it, you stop reacting to the world and start reacting around it. Developers know this and design accordingly. The beats you experience are tuned to build towards those big haha moments, but the result is often a clear divide between enemy players and enemy environments. AI enemies get thrown at you in a linear way just to keep you engaged while you make your way to the real goal, other players. These two lines never intersect because it wasn't intended to. They're convenient check marks designed to keep you busy and give you a sense of progress before the big encounter. And when those lines do cross... Oh god, somebody help me, somebody help. I'm done. AI threats only feel dangerous when you're inexperienced. They can match the world's aesthetic, but at their core, they're just ones and zeros you can exploit or dismiss efficiently. Ultimately, AI encounters are just hurdles, time investments meant to amplify the satisfaction of a player versus player win. Take Hunt Showdown, for example. Player encounters can be incredibly intense, and the gameplay loop is deeply satisfying, 100%. But that intensity doesn't equal tension. You feel intense because it's exciting, but not necessarily tense because there's still a sense of control. Now, don't get me wrong, you can definitely feel tense, but that's usually early on when you lack experience or find yourself in a situation you haven't adapted to yet. So, let's break that down. Something is intense when it's exciting or impactful by nature. You feel tense when you lack control, when the right choice isn't obvious. So yes, new players to competitive games feel tension at first, but as they get more comfortable, that tension fades. It's replaced by brief, controllable moments where you can identify the right and wrong choice. All of this to say, there are diminishing returns in enjoyment once you start mastering these games. I lost a lot of interest in Hunt Showdown when I climbed into higher MMR brackets, and this is because the way people played changed completely. Before that, I ran from point A to point B without much care, relying on sound and visuals to find other players. I was reckless, almost on purpose, chasing that tension the game promised. But later, everyone got quiet, careful, and complacent. God damn it, they're just sitting there, huh? Ooh. Ooh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, I'm done. Everybody just sits there, traps the entire place, and if you don't push, it's just the most boring It became a waiting game. What once hooked me, that unpredictable chaos, became the very thing I missed most. Suddenly, the game split into two versions, playing to win or playing to enjoy it. That's not the fault of the game, it's fundamentally human nature. If you poured hundreds or thousands of hours into the game, well, you'll adapt to protect that investment. You'll do what works, even if it kills what made it fun in the first place. And that's because the standard is to protect the players, not attack them. It bends towards their experience, allowing imbalance to exist for the sake of comfort. Now, imagine you've become so familiar with a game that you dominate everyone you face. To bring back balance, the game starts sending waves of AI at you, but the way you deal with them is still the same single button press. This is a simplified scenario, but it's a common formula that promotes an autopilot response. You're acting automatically because your brain says it's safe to do so. You're not reacting to something with enough variables to engage beyond that, which creates that clear separation within PvPvE. If the game never forces you to adapt, you're still ignoring the encounter in favor of what you and the gameplay loop silently agreed was the real threat all along. And that's exactly what makes Arc raiders feel so different to me. You get a survey at the end of each raid, and it asks you one thing: how tense did you feel? Because that's the point. Tension here doesn't come from the fear of making the wrong choice, it comes from the restriction of choice itself. From being forced into moments where your options are limited, yet your survival depends on you, the player, making something work. The developers know you're a tryhard and eventually you're going to get good, so instead of rewarding mastery, they push back. They place AI in ways that disrupt predictable PvP flow, forcing adaptability.
Okay, I'm gonna be focusing on mine. Do you still see your guy?
Yeah, he's behind cover next to me.
I got a shot on this one. I'm gonna take it. He's marked.
There's two here searching for me, I can't move.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can push this guy and then make my way back to you. Oh, never mind, I got a turret on me. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Oh, that was close.
They're fighting an arc here.
Okay, we're gonna have to reposition here because otherwise the turret is gonna absolutely melt me. I'm making my way to you now.
Yeah, they left as well.
Goddamn, these arcs don't play, huh?
In life, you feel tension in fight or flight moments. In games, that can be risky. Taking control away from the player can easily lead to frustration, but when two threats collide and neither can be ignored, the illusion of safety collapses. You're forced into decisions that feel wrong, but necessary. That's where the magic happens. Let me visualize it for you. Picture a triangle: the player, the enemy player, and the AI. In most games, those sides stay separate. You can actually usually ignore the AI to focus on PvP. In Arc Raiders, that triangle collapses. The AI doesn't just exist around you, it collides into your encounters. It becomes a third, unpredictable participant in the fight. And that's exactly what we're talking about next: the Arc. The arcs are the perfect embodiment of an unstoppable force. They are neither predictable nor optional, you can't ignore them, you can't negotiate with them, they don't really have allegiances other than to themselves, and if you try to treat them like a player, you'll end up getting killed. You'll learn fast that your survival depends on flexibility and not memorization. And the design choices behind them? Absolutely genius. Inside, you might encounter ticks, these little horror nods to alien facehuggers.
Oh, this mother... That didn't work. Just... die. Finally. I just got a question for you.
Okay, what is it?
Did you like it? Oh, fuck off.
Or you might come across rolling arcs with attack types that force you to adjust movement mid-combat. Outside, you can be spotted by a snitch who, if given enough time, will send out a signal calling for immediate backup, basically airdropping a Hornet and Wasp patrol to your exact location, which can be a bit of a nasty combination. Then you have your big boys, which you already saw the Leaper jumping through half of the map in 0.5 seconds, but there's quite a few others like the Bastion.
Yo, what the hell is that thing? You wanna shoot it? I mean, I love the enthusiasm, but we've been here for like 6 hours and we never saw that thing before. I just wanna see what he does. Sure. Hey, bitch! Oh, yeah, careful. Yeah. Of course, yeah, that's fun. It does that, apparently.
And I don't even want to get started on the Queen, so let's just jump right ahead, shall we? Each encounter is unique because the AI doesn't just follow a script, it seems to adapt to your behavior, reacting in real time to your attacks, your noise, your positioning. Shoot a rotor on a Hornet and it recalibrates before firing again. They're conscious of their environment in a way that feels almost alive. The most important piece of the puzzle for me, you are not the center of it. You are a variable in an ecosystem that feels diverse enough not to revolve around you. And the stories that come from this simple setup are endless. Most players are going to walk in thinking that other raiders are the opposing force. The Arc don't negotiate like a person can. They are relentless, even if incapable of betraying you to begin with. You are invading their territory, and if you're going with your enemy predetermined, they're going to remind you that it isn't a world that caters to you. And maybe, just maybe that's why they look the way they do. They're slick, but somehow still analog to belong. They look like machines built inconsequential to the status of the current civilization. They don't feel like the future we're heading towards, but a logical advancement that still somehow, some way, is trying to fit in. Which brings us to the world around them and the aesthetic they inhabit. I couldn't talk about Arc Raiders without talking about the art direction, and to do that, we need to talk about Cassette Futurism. For those of you who haven't heard about it, don't worry, you're not alone. Cassette Futurism is a retro-futuristic aesthetic that was popular from the mid-70s through the late 80s. Think Alien, Blade Runner, Star Wars, muted color palettes, that old VHS vibes, and technology that looks patched together. The game leans into this aesthetic like it was born from it. The world feels like someone grabbed a broken CRT monitor, some vintage camera parts, and a Greyflex flash handle and built a dystopian playground from it. Every piece of tech, every interface, even the HUD, has a tactile, almost analog feel. It's futuristic but grounded. It's not trying to be sleek and sterile. It's raw, mechanical, and alive. And the arcs, they fit perfectly. Not because they look like the rest of the world, but because they look as if they ruled it. You don't just accept them, you expect them to be there almost. That patchwork industrial aesthetic of the Rust Belt contrasted with the clean, almost polished nature of the arcs. It reinforces the tension we talked about before. You're constantly reminded that this isn't just sci-fi fantasy, this is survival against a world that's broken but driven by a monarchy of machines. Again, the art direction fits a machine-infested dystopia perfectly, where humanity struggles to survive in a way that feels like Kubrick himself put together.
I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
It's obviously not individuality that makes a project like this come to life, but I'd like, with the limited time I have, to bring some attention to some of the unique talent Embark has onboarded. I really hope I'm not mispronouncing too bad any of these incredibly talented names, but first up we have Andrew Hamilton, the art director, who brings experience from big productions like Star Wars Battlefront. Tahir Tanis, a world art director, he builds environments that make you feel both wonder and unease. And Robert Samelin, responsible for key art and the logo, nails the tone in a single freaking frame. There's a lot of incredible people who have made this game a reality, and the full team deserves full credit. And this brings me to my next point. Everything works here because everyone is on the same page. Every element from the textures to the ambient lighting contributes to and reinforces the game's core philosophy. The tech feels repurposed, fragile, and slightly dangerous, which mirrors the way the arcs behave. Nothing in this world is completely under your control. Everything is alive and fundamentally capable of fighting back. Even the sound design leans into this retro-futuristic philosophy, and I could do an entire chapter just based off of the sound quality. But spatial audio doesn't just tell you where the shots came from, it builds a sense of presence. Guns sound and look different depending on which attachments you equip. Echoes in corridors, metallic screeches from ticks, the hum of a hornet's rotors, the visceral crack of an energy shield disintegrating. Everything feels tactile, imperfect, and trust me, I hate to say it again, but alive.
If I go up to a wall and shoot it, to me it feels like the wall is ignoring me. I'm getting a narcissistic injury when the world is ignoring me.
It's human nature to expect the world around us to react. The need for validation, visual feedback, and a sense that our time investment actually matters. In Arc Raiders, the wall doesn't just react to you, it shoots back. And at the risk of sounding like a masochist here, I love it. Every tool feels heavy. The game doesn't conform to the current standard of instant changes, micro adjustments, and hyper-fast movement techs. It actually punishes you if you try to rush things. Haste makes waste on the Rust Belt. You have to think 3 moves ahead for every first move you make. Weapon swaps are deliberately slow. Movement is designed to feel human, fragile. But here's the thing. Patience and calculated actions are rewarded. Every weapon and gadget feels unique, and I've only scratched the surface of what you can do. The versatility on offer at launch has me genuinely excited. Now, let's address the 2 main criticisms I've seen from new players during the server slam, both combat related. Number 1, the arcs feel overpowered. As someone who experienced the game for the first time during the server slam, I disagree completely. In fact, I'd argue that as players grow more skilled, the game will need even tougher, more unpredictable arcs to keep tension high. That's intentional. And if anything, I'll take it one step further and say that they need to make it way more difficult in some situations or events. Number 2, the TTK is too high. Same sentiment here. Lowering the time to kill would let players bypass the system, ignoring the unique AI that makes the game special to begin with. You can't expect the world to cater to your delusions of grandeur. You're not on the surface to wipe squads. The game isn't called Raider Raiders.
Roger, roger.
And there you go. I sound like a B1 series battle droid. You happy now? You're raiding the Ark. You can ambush other players, sure, or be ambushed yourself. The game gives you the tools to survive these encounters, but if your goal is to prove your superiority by instantly wiping a squad, this might not be your game. And that's okay too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here strictly for PvE. Honestly, I wouldn't even care half as much if this game had stayed the way early development intended. What hooks me is the balance, the way combat scales, the tension in vulnerability. At the end of the day, I can see myself overstepping, but the game will remind me that it's not all about me. And that is why I can see myself sticking around. The game is set to release in just a couple of days. Yeah, Cal, the game was indeed coming out in a couple of days before you decided to spend every single day since the server slam working on this video as if you're desperately trying to finish a school paper on time. And guess what? You didn't make it! And I can't really ask for an extension on it as I've been actually suffering from severe withdrawal pains from not being able to play it in the first place. But I digress. And there's a few honorable mentions I didn't really get to touch on yet. First of all, I love how certain things you pick up on a raid actually show up in your room. Me and Varan were just having a blast trying to see which items would actually visually show up from what you would pick up, and the attention to detail there, amazing. The developers have clearly put in the work to shape the experience based on community feedback, both during the server slam and before that. Regional pricing has been adjusted globally. Keynote here, while a majority of countries did see a global adjustment, some countries unfortunately still haven't been adjusted, so I would love to see the change be made, and it would be such a big win for the community. As it stands, I'm pretty sure players in some regions are just locked out of the experience and feel quite a bit of frustration seeing the issue perceived as solved, like I did here, when in reality it's not. Bugs and balance issues have been acknowledged, and quality of life tweaks are consistently being made. No overpromising, no grandiose roadmaps. The team wants players to get their hands on the game and explore for themselves and then figure out the next steps. It's important to note that you're also not paying for a full AAA price, but you are basically getting a full AAA experience, and the deluxe edition isn't stuffed with like pay-to-win nonsense basically. Regarding wipes, which I understand is an important point to veterans of the genre, the game doesn't force it, but players who commit are also rewarded. Quality of life perks, cosmetics, and so on. In my eyes, it's a very clever way of balancing the in-game economy while still giving players the agency to choose for themselves. I've said a lot, and honestly, I could be here all day just talking about this game and what I'm feeling about it.
Makes you wonder why I didn't release the video on time, huh?
But I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I think that will about do it. I want you to know that I appreciate every single one of you and the time to listen and react to my thoughts. If you like the content, especially the effort that I'm putting behind it, even if you disagree with something I said, leave a comment. I try to engage with the community as much as possible, so I'm excited to start a discussion. Also, if you haven't noticed, the channel is very much still a baby, so the usual clicks, bells, whistles, all that stuff that you know that YouTubers say, I would really appreciate if you take the time and kind of show some love. Love you all, stay safe, and I'll see you on the top side.